When we think about football in the current era, we often think about top coaches such as Guardiola, De Zerbi and Arteta. And when we do that, we think of positional play, playing through the lines, attracting the press. Everything is very meticulous and neat. However, under Allegri, football is played differently. Allegri's philosophy falls under relationism, where he wants his team to play with expression. His team run with the ball. They run into spaces. They even run into spaces when there are no spaces. The defense is different though. With one of the tightest defenses in the league, Juventus' system is reliant on a solid defense. Juventus are no strangers to the low block and defending for large portions of the game. Juventus currently sit 12th in the average possession chart with 47.3% and second in the goals conceded chart. Allegri's staggered midfield 3 out of possession make it hard for the opposition to penetrate through the centre of the pitch, meaning the opposition need to play down the flanks or switch play, compared to if the midfield was flat, which could provide an easy route into the central areas. Allegri's back 5 will take on a similar shape with the defenders staggered towards their goal when the ball is out wide. This will often see the opposition pass the ball backwards towards their goal, and this is the trigger for one of the forwards to sprint and close down the defender, as they know that if the ball is won here, there is plenty of space behind to run at goal. This would be much harder to do without the forward on the ball side dropping back into the midfield line, and this ensures that Juventus can keep a double pivot in front of their defense, while also occupying the wide channels. So, in this scenario, Juventus take on a 5-4-1 shape out of possession. Players are responsible for pressing an attacker when they move into their zone. We can see how McKennie tracks the attacker when he moves into his zone, making a curved run to ensure that the ball is not played centrally but out wide. He then interchanges with the fullback, tracking his player. Juventus don't allow the opposition any space in the most important part of the pitch. This is the central zone in front of their goal. Their passes per defensive action of 16.2, only Calgary have a lower PPDA, tells us that the opposition can do what they want in their own half. How to transition in the eyes of Allegri. So Juventus are not a possession-based team, but they sit third in the charts for big chances created. So how do they do it? The answer lies in their ability to transition quickly, really quickly. If there is space ahead, they are running into it, and it doesn't matter if it's a forward, midfielder or defender who runs into the space. The idea is just to attack the space as quickly as possible and cause chaos in the opposition's defense. The key to causing chaos in the defense is Chiesa, sitting just behind Kostic in the chances created chart. He often takes up positions out wide on the left and then runs directly at the opposition's penalty box, where he will often get a low cross in or win a corner. The other option that Chiesa has coming in from wide is combination play, where he will collect a rebound off Vlahovic, with 39% of attacks coming from the left and 21% of all shots coming from the left compared to just 12% from the right. It's a key area for Juve. Chiesa often teams up with Kostic on the left to create a 2 vs 1 or a 2 vs 2, where they combine to take on the fullback. This sequence shows just how they combine, and also how Chiesa gets into the box and can get a shot away by playing a 1-2 with a teammate in the box. With the ball and the players moving in different directions, it's very difficult to mark. Chiesa likes to drift wide, and he also likes to drop back into the midfield, as this sees Juventus keep their width in the midfield, which allows McKennie to take up wide positions. He uses the same tactics of using a teammate in the box as a wall. As he cuts inside, he takes the attention of 3 defenders. He plays a 1-2 and then has an opportunity to strike at goal. This is hard to defend against, especially when it's done at the speed in which Juve do it. In the end, this mayhem leads to a Chiesa goal. There's no time to build up. On paper, Allegri opts for a 3-5-2 formation but rarely do we actually see this. When defending, as we've seen, this is a 5-3-2 or even a 5-4-1. And in possession, we know that Allegri's players have more freedom of movement. However, their shape from goal kicks starts with the goalkeeper forming a back four with the wide centre backs playing as fullbacks, pushed slightly up, and a single pivot, usually Locatelli. Juventus are not interested in playing through the centre. The passes are played quickly to the fullbacks, and this is where the midfield comes in. It's a line of four stretched across the pitch. The wingers are in close proximity to the fullbacks, so that they can play combinations and hit the wide channels rapidly. And just like the transitions, attacks are quick. One of the two number 8s is also on hand to provide a 1-2 and draw a fullback out of position so Chiesa can run in behind. Playing quick passes and even running with the ball out of defence is all about causing havoc for the opposition and creating spaces in the opposition's third. Here the ball is quickly switched to the opposite side to Kostic in space, who without thinking twice instantly runs at the Napoli defence. There is now a 3-on-3 and all attention is on Chiesa with the ball. This allows Vlahovic to move into the box almost unmarked. The roles given to Chiesa, Kostic and McKennie are very important. One way of breaking the lines is to play intricate passes, but Juventus have their own way, and it's to run with the ball whenever the chance presents itself. This is something that Guardiola has been installing in his team more recently, but it's still a long way from how Allegri sees the game. Allegri's Juventus are a disciplined, well-oiled machine when it comes to defending, as they all have zones to defend. However, when it comes to attacking, Allegri doesn't care if the left winger is on the right side because there's an opportunity to attack space. So love it or hate it, Allegri's style of play is back and Juventus are currently flying near the top of Serie A. Chasing Inter all the way, the goal has to be to get the old lady back into the Champions League next season, and they are on track to do this, and this might see them pick up players that can also run and cause havoc for the opposition. Are you a fan of Juventus' style of play?